So, how do you pick the perfect campsite? And what is the perfect campsite? Stay tuned. The perfect campsite is the one that's right for you. Now, if you've been camping a lot, you probably have it narrowed down to the type of campsite that you like and what the ideal spot looks like. And I'm sure you have a few favorite spots that you love to go back to year after year.
Well, if you're new to camping though, this whole process of how to find a campsite can be a little overwhelming. Where do you start? What do you need to look for, and where do you look for them?
Hi, we're John and Holly with Let's Go Now Adventures, and our channel is about all things camping. You know, whether you tent camp or RV camp, our goal is to just help you have a great camping experience. So today we're talking about how to find a campsite that will work for you.
Sometimes it's not until you've been out camping a few times that you start to narrow down the things that are really important to you.
Yeah, that's true, right? You know, when we first got our RV, I wanted a campground with full hookups so that I could have all the comforts of home. You know, we had been tent camping for 30 plus years, so this was really exciting. I wanted to live it up and have electricity, running water, and yeah, a fridge and a microwave. But I soon found out that, you know, I much preferred to be just boondocking or no campgrounds, no hookups, and no crowds, just peace and quiet.
You know, there's no one right way to camp. To each their own, and there's no one perfect campsite that would appeal to everyone. So today we'll give you some tips on how to help you find exactly what you're looking for in a campsite.
You know, I think first off, you need to prioritize. You know, what is it that you feel is important in a campsite? There are so many things to consider that you might not have even thought of. So let's get started.
There are three different types of campsites. There's public, private, and off-grid. Let me describe a little bit about what those are. Public campsites and campgrounds are typically your campgrounds that are administered by some governmental agency, whether it be the state government or federal government. Examples would be your state parks, your National Forest Service, or even national parks. There's private campgrounds that are privately owned and operated and for-profit organizations, and they typically are a little bit more expensive, but they also come a lot of times with more amenities. And some examples of that might be KOA or a Good Sam.
Yeah.
And then the last is an off-grid type of camping, which can also be known as boondocking, dispersed camping, or dry camping. Really quickly, let me just describe there's some subtle differences between those. So boondocking means you have a trailer or an RV and you're camping without the benefits of hookups. So no electricity, no water, no sewer. Dispersed camping means that you're not camping in a developed campsite, and by default that means you have no hookups. So there's no fire pit, no table. You're just out in a great wilderness environment and camping. The last is dry camping. Dry camping, you're also you have no hookups, but you could be either in a campground with a fire pit and table, but just no hookups, or you could be out in the wilderness doing some dispersed camping.
Yeah.
So that's boondocking, dispersed camping, and dry camping.
So what are you looking for in a campsite? Well, here are some things that you will want to consider.
Do you want or need hookups?
Do you prefer to make a reservation knowing that a spot will be waiting for you? Or are you more free-spirited and okay with whatever's available?
Do you need any special amenities or special accommodations? Maybe a swimming pool, washer and dryer, the convenience of a camp store, or will just a picnic table and a fire pit do?
How do you feel about privacy? Are you okay having neighbors right next to you? Or do you prefer to be as far away as you can from everybody else? And if so, are you comfortable and prepared to camp in isolated areas?
Are you looking to have some activities laid out? Some campgrounds host potluck dinners. Some will have organized nature hikes or even discovery games.
Yeah. How about noise? Is noise a factor? Campgrounds can be very busy with a lot going on, like music, generators, and sometimes you can't help but listening to your neighbor's conversation. Or are you looking for peace and quiet?
And can you bring your pets? You know, Murphy goes with us everywhere. And we have to find campgrounds that will allow him to be there.
Yeah, definitely. So let's talk about actual campgrounds. When choosing a spot, here are some things that you'll want to consider. What will it cost? Is the site a pull-through or a backup? What about hookups? Will you need a 30 amp or a 50 amp? And I don't know if this is important, but is Wi-Fi available?
So another thing to consider is how many people do you have at the site? How many vehicles will be there? And if you do have additional vehicles, what's the charge for those vehicles? What's the maximum vehicle, think trailer length? And what's the width and length of the driveway?
Here's another one. What about, is there a tent pad? What about, is there shade during the day? And are campfires allowed? And if campfires are allowed, do they sell firewood?
Is there a fire pit, a picnic table, or grill? Is there water available? And are there restrooms and showers? And if there are restrooms, what kind of restrooms are there?
What about, is there a camp host if you need one? And also, are there any discounts that are offered?
Also, in some campgrounds, they have security gates that they close at night. Be aware of this so that you're not arriving late and get locked out.
Yeah. Another thing to consider is, where is your campground located? Is it right next to the bathroom? Now that could be a good thing or a bad thing. Is it down by the water? Is it close to a playground? And how close are you to other campers?
Now when you're making a reservation, all of these options should be posted on the websites. So take advantage of this resource and look at photos of the individual sites provided and check out the campsite on the map of the campground.
A couple of sites that are great when making reservations for public campgrounds are reserveamerica.com and recreation.gov. And check out the link above if you would like to know more about how to make a reservation and really be able to maneuver the site. If you're looking for a private campground, KOA, Good Sam, and Harvest Host, just to name a few, have great websites that can give you valuable information and help you get these types of sites booked.
If you're looking for boondocking, dispersed camping, or dry camping sites, the U.S. Public Lands app is good. Also, Google Maps and Google Earth are excellent resources. Check out our first boondocking video with the link right up here, and be sure to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss the video we're making right now on how to find great dispersed and boondocking campsites. Campgroundreviews.com and campendium.com are two great websites for valuable information and to check out other people's opinion of those campsites and campgrounds.
So we hope we've helped to take some of the guesswork out of how to find a campsite. I think the biggest take home, if any, would be that you make the campsite what it is, and your experience you have is entirely up to you. You could pull into a crappy campsite and have the best of time. So when picking a campsite that will work for you, although that's very important, don't get too caught up in the process. Book your site, relax, and go out and have a great time camping. One thing to remember though, when you do go camping, leave the campsite better than when you found it.
So if you like this video and you found some value, give us a big thumbs up. And make sure you hit the little subscribe button right down here so that you're notified when we release other camping related videos. Happy camping, and we'll see you on the next adventure.
Bye-bye.